Welcome everybody, this is Mr. Storm and welcome to the third video in the series that's teaching you how to use Canvas and how to set it up for distance learning and in-person learning, in-class learning. In this video, we are going to cover some design techniques to make your course look relatively the same as every other teacher at UMA. Now, the things that I'm going to go over in this video, please remember, this isn't necessarily required that your course looks exactly like mine. But it would be great if most of these courses were fairly consistent. That way, teachers and students and parents and administrators all had a pretty general, good idea of what they're looking at if they go to your course versus going to someone else's. So I'm going to talk about some things that I think are really good ideas and design-wise, and hopefully you adopt some of these techniques. Okay. So this is the template course that I've been working on. This isn't completely finished, but I am working on it right now, so I can show you a couple of things that I've done so far. Very quickly, I want to give you a tour of a Canvas page so that you can see what all these buttons do. I'm not going to get too deep into any of these. Most of these we're going to explore later on in the how-to videos. But over here on the left-hand side, you have your course navigation options. So you have home, your syllabus, you have modules, which we'll talk about in detail in a minute. You have grades. This will take you directly to your grade book. You have Google Drive. If you have your Google account linked to your Canvas, then you can click this and it'll take you directly to your files on your Google Drive, which is great. You also have monitoring and reporting, which is going to be important in the final video in this series when we talk about linking your Aspire account to your Google account. Down here, I have a bunch of options that I'm not using for this course, which is why the eyeballs are turned off, meaning when students come to this course, they will not see these options, and I will show you how to do this in a later video. I also have rubrics, new analytics, and settings. The rubrics button was one that didn't exist before. It's a new addition. This will allow me to actually look at all of my assignment rubrics in one place, which is very handy. I also have new analytics, which is a new feature as well, which allows me to look at analytics for my course itself. I can sort by student, I can sort by assignment, and I can look at how successful individual students have been or how successful individual assignments have been. It's a fantastic tool. You can also look at engagement in the course. You can look at how many page views a student has on a specific date to see if they've actually been interacting with your course. And then I have settings. I'm going to cover settings in greater detail in a later video. Okay, in here, this is my home page. All right. I want all of my Canvas courses to have a home page or a splash page. Sometimes I'll refer to it as the splash page. The reason why is because if they go directly into modules, it can be a little bit daunting. With this splash page, it allows them to kind of see, hey, this is the beginning or this is the opening of this course. This is the landing page, the front page. I like having a big graphic on the front that says, hey, this is the class you're in, this is the school you're in. That way, if for some reason they're in the wrong class, it's very obvious right here. Before they click anything else, they see Exploring Computer Science. So if they're taking multiple courses of mine and they accidentally click this, but they meant to click computer programming, this will tell them, hey, you're in the wrong place. Below that, I have some buttons here. I have a button that says Term 1 and a button that says Term 2. These buttons are directly linked to modules in my module page. If they click Term 1, it'll take them to the top of the Term 1 module. If they click Term 2, it'll take them directly to the top of the Term 2 module. The reason why I have these buttons separated out like this is because when we're in Term 2, students aren't going to want to have to go to modules and scroll all the way down through all that content in Term 1 that they're finished with. They may just want to click Term 2 and go directly to it. So I put that for ease of navigation. I recommend having some kind of navigation below your splash page so your students can just click here. My design theory or my design philosophy is I want to keep students off of this menu as much as possible, just because I like to control the way they move through a course. All right. Over here, you have some setting options as well, which we're not going to worry about. This is a really important button, unpublished versus published. This is where you're going to publish your course when you're completely finished with it and you're ready for students to look at it. So you can click publish there when you're completely ready. Okay, I'm going to click on Term 1 and let's go into modules. Now, modules is going to be the place where all of your course content is organized. Okay, so in modules, I have term 1. This is all the content they're covering in term 1. And then I go down to, I didn't change the name of that yet. That's supposed to be term 2. And then this is all the content they're going to be covering in term 2, minus the game development module that I unpublished because I'm rewriting that. Okay, so let's go up to the top of term 1. So this can be a bit confusing for students if they jump in here and they don't really know what they're looking at. Unfortunately, there's not really a better way to group this content that I know of. To me, it makes sense to have them all in one stream here, but your students have to learn what these icons mean, and what is learning material versus what is a quiz versus what is an assignment, right? So that's something you want to go over with them in class the first week or so. So here's how I have my courses set up. I have individual modules for the terms themselves. Some teachers organize by week, some teachers organize by day. I organize by term. You can also organize your modules by specific units. So, we're doing a unit on the solar system. So all the solar system content is going to go into the unit. That makes sense to me as well, but I still like the term breakdown because what I can do is separate my units by text headers within the module itself. So for example, my introduction unit is basically the first week of class where they learn my rules and procedures, they go through the syllabus, they learn about the course itself, and then they take a quiz on all that content so I can see that they understand what the expectations are in the classroom. So then we get directly into computer hardware, computer software. So you can see how my units are broken down from unit to unit. So that's why I use these separate units. Now, the benefit to separating your units out by module is that you can create, let's go back to the homepage, you can create links to all your different modules instead of just links to the terms. That's one way to do it, and if you want to do it that way, that's fine too. All right, let me go back to term 1. So let's talk about the content that's inside of a module. So let's look at the introduction module here. In the introduction module, I have the text header that tells you what the module is, and then directly below that, I have a date, August 24th through August 28th. Now, if we were to look at the Utah Military Academy school calendar, let's go there. Some of you may not know where to find this, and so let's talk about how to find it. So this is the UMA webpage here. And if I come over here to the Academy, is it in the Academy? Oh. Let's see, newsletter, parents. Oh, there we go, calendar and bell schedule. So it looks like it's under parents. I'm going to click that. And I have my bell schedule for the day. And the bell schedule is great because it breaks it down by, Fridays with an assembly, regular day, all that stuff. So bell schedule is great. But then I have my 2020, 2021 calendar here. I'm going to open that up. So if I take a look here, I can see that I have the first day of the term is August 17th, right? But we're also having NWEA testing. And so I'm going to ignore this whole first week of the school year because I want kids to just be able to get settled into their classes, take some tests. Plus, this is also plebe week normally, and so I don't want to put any content in this first week. If you're a new teacher and you're planning on putting content in this first week, definitely do not, okay? Don't put any content in this first week. Your real first day is going to be August 24th. Okay. Anyway, I'm going back. So August 24th through 28th, that's the first week. So students know, hey, if the date is August 26th, then all my content that I have to worry about is in this page here. So I'm going to click on the page, and it's going to open this up. So this is my learning objectives for the week. Okay, so I break my courses are broken down by week. So I do learning objectives for the week. Normally the way my classes work is on the first day of the week, they are doing all the reading and watching videos and learning and listening to lectures and all that stuff. And then I give them the entire second period of the week. So whether it's Wednesday or Thursday, to complete an assignment on that material. So for this week, the learning objective, they're learning about this course and the culture of the classroom. Why are they learning it? Because they want to be successful, and that starts with understanding how to learn, how to complete assignments, how to meet expectations. And they're going to prove they've learned this by completing the disclosure quiz assignment in Canvas. So then directly below that, I have order of operations. Now, this is going to be the same in every one of these weekly breakdowns, or what am I calling them now? Week homepage? Yeah, so this is a week homepage. So this order of operations tells them exactly what they need to do and in what order they need to do it. So they need to read classroom rules and procedures. So a student can just click there, and it will take them to the classroom rules and procedures. And so they can read through this and read through that and read through all of the rules and the things and all the stuff. And then at the bottom, they can click here to go back to the week home page, which again is where all their content for the week is being organized. And then down here, the next thing they need to do is read what is exploring computer science. So they'll click that. It will take them to the next thing they need to read and learn. And then they go back to the week home page. Now, some of you may be thinking, hey, why aren't you telling them to click the next button? Well, they could do that. They could just click next, next, next to get to the next thing. But I like to keep it organized by week, and I like to try to keep them contained within the week. So I want to make sure that there's a link at the bottom of the page to bring them back to the week homepage so they can see, okay, I did that, now what do I need to do next? And then the final thing they need to do that week is take the disclosure quiz. And so this is the quiz that they would take. Now when they're done with that, then they can go back to modules, which actually, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I should put a link in here that says back to modules. Or maybe a link to the next week. Maybe I should do that. Anyway, on this page, you can also put things like the link to your Google Meets sessions for that class period, and I'll show you how to do that. Or I have other videos showing you how to do that. But this would be a great place to put that so that they can see those lectures in their weekly breakdown or their week homepage. All right. And that's pretty much it. So notice that the three things that I've linked to, those three things are in here as well. So they could have just clicked on these individually. Like, for example, if they know that they're going to come in here and just go straight to the disclosure quiz, they can just click on it. They don't have to go here first, then click the link. It's right there. But I also want it to be, I want to give them multiple ways to find the material. Okay. And one thing I've done is I've indented content by at least one step. If it's organized under that week, then it's going to be indented under that week's page, if that makes sense. And assignments, meaning things they have to actually do, things they have to actually turn in, I indent it twice so it stands out even further. Okay. So that's essentially my thought process on developing these courses. There are other specific things that we can talk about as a group to discuss, things like do we want there to be a specific ratio between disclosure or between quizzes and assignments? Do we want to use discussions? What are we really wanting to do as a group? But for me, this is a way to go through the course in a way that makes sense. It's easy to build it this way, and I'm going to get into building it this way here in a minute, or in the next couple videos. Hopefully you'll see that this is probably the best way to do it. It's very clear. Students know exactly what to expect. Parents know exactly what to expect. And hopefully this will save you some time thinking about, hey, how am I going to build my class? How am I going to organize my content? Just follow this guide and it should help you out. Okay, that's it for me, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.